Hi everyone. Today I'm listening to Terry Jacks with Seasons in the Sun. And, well, I really know nothing about it as usual, and this is not a band I'm returning to, it's another new band or new artist. So I need to read a bit and then we'll listen. Terrence Ross Jacks, born 1944, is a Canadian singer, songwriter, guitarist, and record producer. Another one of the Canadians. Seasons in the Sun is an English-language adaptation of the 1961 Belgian song La Moribonde, The Dying Man, by singer-songwriter Jacques Brel, with lyrics rewritten in 1963 by singer-poet Rod McEwen, portraying a dying man's farewell to his loved ones. It became a worldwide hit in 1974 for singer Terry Jacks and became a Christmas #1 in the UK in 1999 for Westlife. Okay. Seasons in the Sun was originally intended for the Beach Boys. Oh, really? With Jacks serving as producer for the recording. However, after the group decided not to release it, Jacks decided to record it himself in late 1973 on his own record label. I guess it meant something to him. It became the largest selling international single by a Canadian artist at that time, eventually selling 14 million copies worldwide. It earned Jacks 2 Juno Awards and became one of the biggest selling Canadian singles of all time. Well, I guess he was right to release it then. Sorry, Beach Boys.
Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we've climbed hills and trees, learned of love and ABC, and skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Goodbye, my friend, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, pretty girls are everywhere. Think of me and I'll be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time. Goodbye, Papa, please pray for me. I was the black sheep of the family. You tried to teach me right from wrong. Too much wine and too much song, wonder how I got along. Goodbye, Papa, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, children everywhere. When you see them, I'll be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. Goodbye, my
Oh boy. Oh, Vlad's cringing behind the camera because I stopped it. I promise, I'll back up a little bit. It's hard to know where to stop and when to stop because I have things I want to share as I'm listening, but it's so beautiful and it cuts right to the heart, doesn't it? So as I'm listening, it's making me remember another song. And that's the Christmas tree song. What's it called?
1st of May.
1st of May. 1st of May. And that was by the Bee Gees, right? Okay. So, completely unrelated. But somehow it has the same potency, the same concentration of beauty and sadness all in one. And well, this one, I guess, is a little more towards the sad side because you feel the farewell is final. Whereas with the 1st of May, it wasn't like that. But still, it's the same intense feeling that it brings up. And I love it. I love that it is so simply presented. Maybe it's a good thing that the Beach Boys didn't do it. I suppose they would have added some of their wonderful vocal harmonizations and who knows what else. It would have been a rich, colorful, dynamic song, but somehow it feels like this is just right for it. Even the voice isn't that great of a voice, is it? It's kind of an ordinary voice. Anybody could kind of sing along like that. But that's the point. It's a simple, simple voice with a simple song. Well, it has this lovely momentum that builds. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. But the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. And the way that melody just kind of circles round and round. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. It's almost like the seasons coming round every year and feeling the motion and the delight of life. Looking back on life and feeling like, oh, we had beautiful times, didn't we? And we can look back to every season and recognize, well, also, it's kind of unspoken in here, but if you read between the lines, we had seasons in the sun. Well, doesn't mean we lived our whole life in the sun. We had seasons in the clouds too. But when you get to the end of your life, you want to remember those seasons that were sunny, those seasons that were happy, those times that you don't want to let go of. That's what you hold on to.
But the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun.
Nice little lift up there.
Wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. Goodbye, Michelle, my little one. You gave me love and helped me find the sun. And every time that I was down, you would always come around and get my feet back on the ground. Goodbye, Michelle, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, with the flowers everywhere, I wish that we could both be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the stars we could reach were just starfish on the beach. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the stars we could reach were just starfish on the beach. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. All our lives we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time. We had joy.
That is utterly precious and beautiful. Well, okay. What to do? I guess I would like to go back through it a little bit and comment on some of the musical elements because there were some things I noticed, but I really hated to disrupt the music too much. So let's go back through. As I said, it's a simple song. It's not highly complex, but there are some lovely little touches to notice along the way. And anyway, I would enjoy hearing it again. So this opening here, it's a little bit scary. It's kind of like some little kid's vision of boogeyman is after you. Bum 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 whoa 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 bum 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 whoa whoa whoa. It's not sinister, but there is a sort of scary element, like you know, it's dark, and of course we don't know it at the beginning, but by the time we get through the song and coming back to this, I recognize it as being sort of shadow of death, or the character of death emerging right at the beginning, and it sets the tone, although the song itself isn't scary. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10.
And this bass is one of the things I noticed. So simple. It doesn't really even keep up a complete bass line. It just tosses out a couple notes. Bum, 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 bum. And a little later it gets a little more active. But still, it's mostly just a classic 1-5, 5-1 sort of pattern. And then this organ, beep, 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 beep. Just, again, texture, something in the background to set this voice, this completely ordinary voice. And I like how this song has such a quality of treasuring the memories of life. And I like the way it kind of makes me, and I suppose all of us, freshly appreciate all that life gives us.
We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we've climbed hills and trees.
Hills and trees.
Learned of love and ABC. Skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Goodbye.
Suddenly, right. So, goodbye to you, my trusted friend. A pause. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. A pause. It's very speech patterned. Together we've climbed hills and trees. Learned of love and ABCs, skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Suddenly, the music starts to move, and it's the pacing of it is perfect. We have just enough of the conversational element, but before it starts to drag, it picks up and we start to sing a bit.
Learned of love and ABC, skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Goodbye, my friend, it's hard to...
And this line, skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. It reminds me, it's so simple, but it reminds me actually of a completely different piece of music. I won't even go into where it came from, but it has this line, the knees of my heart shall I bow. In other words, it puts an image in your mind that captures everything in just these few lines. Skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Perfect. Learned of love and ABCs. We stumbled through the beginnings of everything together.
Learned of love and ABC, skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. Goodbye, my friend, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, pretty girls are everywhere. Think of me and I'll be there.
Think of me and I'll be there. It's hard to die when there's so much of life still going on. It's spring. All the birds are singing in the sky. Pretty girls are everywhere. I mean, come on, every spring is like that. To realize I'm at the end of my life and it's hard to let this all go. But think of me and I'll be there. If I'm in your mind, I'm there. If I'm in your thoughts, if I'm in your memory, I'm there with you. Just think of me and I'll be there. Please do that for me so I don't lose it all. And it's this lovely connection of friend to friend.
Think of me and I'll be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. But the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time.
I mean, it's so singable. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. I like the way it drops down to sun. It could seasons in the sun, like seasons out of time. But the fact that it drops down, just enough variety and keeps it open and makes it circle around again. But the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time. The hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time. What a line. How it makes you stop. It's kind of like when the music picks up and starts moving, then you get these lines within the lyrics itself that want to make you stop and relish and treasure the thought in it. And isn't that how it is with life? When life is moving along so fast and finally things have picked up and started going on, then you feel like, I just need to put the brakes on and take a moment to treasure this experience because everything is traveling and moving so fast. I love how this captures the essence of what it is to live life in such a beautiful way.
The hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time. Goodbye, Papa,
here's death
please pray
again.
for me.
And now here come the strings.
Black sheep of
It's getting a little more sentimental now. Goodbye, Papa. Please pray for me. I was the black sheep of the family. Oh, a little reference to maybe, yeah, I wasn't the most well-behaved. Maybe I didn't even feel so good about life all the time. But, and it goes on, too much wine and too much song. Oh, I might have lived a little bit too loosely. But, the connection still, it's returning home. Papa, trusted friend, Papa, and then later the little girl, Michelle. Funny. Does it have anything to do with Beatles Michelle? I don't think so, but it's funny that it has the same name. I guess it must have been a popular name. Anyway, such a sweet. You get just enough of sentimentality. You feel how it is to have all the dearest things, dearest ones, dearest experiences, relationships. And you're looking at them all, and you maybe feel like perhaps you've even abused them. You know, this too much wine and too much song. Wonder how I got along. But all that doesn't matter now. It focuses us back to what really matters are the connections, the human connections, and the experiences that were felt within those connections. That is the most beautiful, most treasured part of one's life.
Goodbye, Papa, please pray for me.
Death is dark here. And the strings.
I was the black sheep of the family. You tried to
Sentimental
teach me
strings,
right from
a bit
wrong.
of death.
Too much wine and too much song. Wonder
Strings.
how I got along. Goodbye, Papa, it's hard to die.
Children's chorus, a children's chorus. Oh, break our hearts even more. This spring is in the air, the birds are singing everywhere. And now we have a children's chorus as well. You know, this has, interesting, it has some elements that are almost Christmassy in the stereotypical, you know, the children's chorus, the strings, the innocence, the lightness. I guess it said it became a Christmas hit, didn't it? Such a sad song for that season, and yet it's so special that it's no longer sad.
Too much wine and too much song. Wonder how I got along. Goodbye, Papa, it's hard to die. When all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air. Little children everywhere. When you see them, I'll be there. We had joy, we had
And then back to
fun,
this,
we had seasons in the sun. But the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. We had joy, we had fun, we
And then
had
of course
seasons.
the classic stepping up a step here. But it doesn't even feel Well, sometimes when I'm sitting around with musicians, we talk about the cheesy music. It doesn't feel cheesy. It doesn't feel like somebody just followed a recipe and piled on a bunch of too much of stuff that becomes something without substance, just to, yeah, like too much cheese. Like, you don't know how to cook? Pile on the cheese. Pile on the cheese. No, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels so good in that moment to have this brightness of stepping up in the context of we had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. And then we want to emphasize, so we lift it a little higher. We had joy, we had fun. And it's as if it's trying to reassure those that are going to be left behind. Remember the joy and the fun and the seasons in the sun that we had. Remember those and don't be sad.
Like the seasons have all gone. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. But the wine and the song, like the seasons have all gone.
Here's
By
death
Michelle,
again.
my little one. You gave me love and helped me find the sun.
This is such a sweet line. We've been singing about having all these seasons in the sun, and then suddenly we realize this little Michelle, she's the most precious of them all, because we start to put a story together. I was the black sheep of the family. You tried to teach me right from wrong, but too much wine, too much song. I was irresponsible, out to party, have fun. And then I had a little girl. And you gave me love and helped me find the sun. In other words, if she hadn't come along, maybe I wouldn't feel like this right now. Somehow she helped me find the sun in life, and all these seasons in the sun, which I'm remembering now, maybe I would have forgotten them if it weren't for her bringing the sun back into my life. And every time that I was down, this is the first actual reference to the fact that life wasn't all perfect. We might think, well, as I said, we have to read between the lines a bit at the beginning. We had seasons in the sun. Maybe we had a lot of dark seasons, but we did have seasons in the sun. And now, every time that I was down, you would always come around, little Michelle, and get my feet back on the ground. And it suddenly makes you want to just break down and cry.
Goodbye, Michelle.
And this, what I'm calling the death character, bum, 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 we hear it at the beginning. I do think that it kind of represents the death character, and it's not menacing, but it's present. And as we're going through the music, it keeps rearing its head. This is not something I can escape from. I have to say my final goodbyes. But then,
Michelle, my little one.
we have this bit of a pause, which kind of makes us stop and think about what's going on. Let's back up there just a little bit again. It's a special moment.
Seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons have all gone.
Everything stops.
Goodbye,
And all we hear is
Michelle, my
death.
little one.
And we hear,
You gave me love and helped me find the sun. And every time that I was down, you would always.
and we can kind of lose track of it because the lyrics are so gripping for our attention, and the little bit of drums, the organ pop 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 pop, and then the bass is all mostly in our face, but the string is in the back. We hear them sweeping along, but when we start paying attention to them, lovely lines, aren't they?
Every time that I was down, you would always come around and get my feet back on the ground. Goodbye, Michelle, it's hard to die.
Another children's chorus
Birds are
again.
singing
hear a bit of piano in the
Flowers
background.
everywhere. I wish that we could both be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the
And so this last verse kind of gathers everything together. We have the organ, we have the strings, we have the bass, we have the drums. Each of them is doing just a little bit more, and then we have piano added in, which also is far in the background, but it's this little springtime quality of I don't know, water flowing down a mountain stream, or birds flitting through the trees, or just the sunlight sparkling off the fresh leaves. You get to hear that here, and it's set in the background because as much as this is set and it's referencing all these things, the focus is on the relationships. And I love how the music puts all of this kind of around us. It creates a beautiful world in which we live sonically, but the music focuses us towards these close relationships that are being sung about. And maybe that is what I would say is most special about this song is how in its beautiful simplicity, it is managing to achieve that, which perhaps more complex orchestration arrangement might have lost. And that's why I feel like, yeah, I think it's a good thing the Beach Boys didn't do this. Although I would love to hear them do this, actually. I think it would sound amazing, but I'm not sure it would have the same sort of intimacy to it. I could be wrong.
when all the birds are singing
There's the piano.
in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air, with the flowers
choir.
everywhere, I wish that we could both
And the
be
strings.
there. We had joy,
And the
we
drums.
had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the
And the guitar.
stars we could reach were
And the
just
bass.
starfish on the beach.
Ah, and the stars that we could reach were just starfish on the beach. How sweet is that? Suddenly we get to hear an actual experience that was one of those seasons in the sun. It was gathering starfish.
Reach, we're just starfish on the beach. We had joy, we had fun.
And now it
we had
steps up
seasons in
even
the
another
sun,
bit.
but the stars we could reach were just starfish on the beach. We had joy, we had fun.
And stepping
we
up a
had
bit more.
seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all come. All our lives we had fun. We had seasons in the sun, but the
And it ends so joyfully. So this one, I guess, is going to go in my collection of very special songs, along with The 1st of May. And I remembered not to call it the Christmas tree song. And a few others as well. It is one of those very precious pieces of music. And I love it just as it is. I love it with the simple voice, the simple arrangement, the simple musical style. I love the ebb and flow of it. I love the way it paces itself. And sometimes it starts to really move. And in those moments, we want to relish the text, the lyrics that are coming by. And yet there's not time. And we don't want to stop the music, because to stop the music would, and it gives us this conflicted feeling. And, well, isn't that how it is with life? When life is going so beautifully and you stop and you look around you and you recognize, I don't have time enough to absorb all the beauty in this experience. But I can't stop it because that would destroy it. So I just have to take what I can, and we keep on going. And then of course we have the dark seasons too. They come and they go, like seasons do. A lovely song, a lovely listening experience. That was Terry Jacks' Seasons in the Sun. I'll see you soon.